Good afternoon. Happy rainy day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We'll get to the JRC here in a moment, but first, the disclaimers and the trigger warnings. If you're not familiar with the Stop the Shot campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, pertinent links are going to be right there for you in the description box. Please make sure to keep an eyeball specifically on Tistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, pretty much where all of us get our receipts in regards to the Judge Rothberg Educational Center, including ER documentation, blog opinion pieces, court transcripts, ER photos, clips to the video surveillance footage of what happened in 2002 with Andre McCollins, pretty much just about everything. So if you want to do some deep diving on your own, make that your number one stop, because that's got just about literally everything going all the way back to the 70s in regards to the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center. We also have Neuroclastics article, the same one that the JRC threatened them with a defamation lawsuit. They didn't remove the article from the website. What has the JRC perturbed is that it is a survey of over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center's so-called behavior modification program. Neuroclass, of course, told them no, they would not remove their article from their website. So, folks, please read it, share it. Obviously, there's something in there that JRC doesn't want the public to know, and that is every single reason exactly why they should. We also have Neuroclastics GoFundMe link up that some of us within the community put up for them. I didn't think that far ahead, but a few friends did, and unfortunately, unlike the JRC, we humble advocates do not have access to unlimited funding. So if you could donate, I know they'd appreciate it. If you can't, please share it on all your social media. I'm well aware of exactly how tight pretty much all of us are at this point in time. Trigger warnings. Alright, folks. When we talk about places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of the catch clips or surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please make sure to utilize a headset. This channel is also marked not for kids. We do use profanity and cover some dark subjects, so if your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, parental supervision is advised. Also, obviously, attack of the allergies, as we literally been through at least 3 storm systems within a very short time span, and we've got more coming on the way. So you may hear me clearing my throat, sneezing, and due to my absolute lack of ability to edit these things to save my soul, I'm just gonna do us all a favor and go again and apologize in advance. I will try to mute it at least if I can catch it on time, alright? Speaking of, 1 second. Oh, good. We made it work. I think. Hold on. There we go. Alright, so we're going to read a little excerpt below here, which corresponds to the whole banning statute and why what the JRC stated was a bald-faced lie as per normal. Again, because the JRC is very consistent in forcing us to have to repeat ourselves and make the same points and raise the same challenges over and over and over again because they never, in any real satisfactory type of way, have ever answered any of our points or any of our challenges ever. We get a level of word salad that makes Elaine Brednahoff look like she's actually competent in comparison. So, be prepared for that. And yeah, it annoys me. Alright. The JRC's use of ESDs in no way constitutes commercial distribution. The device is used by JRC, not sold to anyone else, and used only to treat patients who are treated there with ESD therapy, currently 55 persons. Karen, nobody cares how many people you have on the device. People care that you stop putting shock collars on disabled kids. We want you to stop starving disabled kids. In which case, if you don't want to starve, you want to force them to perform like they're performing seals. We want you to not wake up students in the middle of the night and then shock them continuously for getting up for longer than 3 seconds without permission during dinner. Okay? We want 0 people on the device. What's not to get there? I would have thought that would have been obvious. Even those who are extreme, and what about what they do to themselves? We've about had it for your whataboutism, JRC. We have really, all of us, have had multiple decades of your gaslighting bullshit. Okay? I am well aware of the risks. A, because once upon a time, little Tiffany is not very different than those you put on that human shock collar in regards to both aggressive behavior and self-injurious behavior. And, wouldn't you know it, my cute little Audie self, who had to deal with a lot of therapy to stop doing such things, at least to such an extent constantly that I did back then, grew up to work within the service system, specifically for the Missouri Department of Mental Health, Division of Developmental Disabilities, Southwest Region. Okay? I am well aware of the risks of self-injurious and aggressive behavior. Thank you. I know exactly how life-threatening they are. Believe me, I'm well informed. But you can't continue to use that as a whataboutism forever. Because, just because, yes, there are massive risks, does not mean that gives you a get-out-of-jail-free card to essentially replace us abusing ourselves with you abusing us instead and calling it good. That's not how any of this works. I don't care how severe it is. You are supposed to be a trained medical professional. Your job is to treat those students in a way that does not cause them physical harm intentionally. You see, that's the difference. You are inflicting, whether you want to admit it or not, intentional harm on those kids to get what you want out of them. If this was being done in a household, instead of a school/treatment program, the parents would be in jail. I know it, you know it, the world knows it. So, whataboutisms no longer apply here. Regardless of what type of shock and awe story you're going to try to shove down our throats, you are supposed to be a medical official. You take a very specific oath to not cause harm, especially not intentional harm. You mentioned things such as surgeries, and that causes harm, but what you fail to mention is the fact that every single step possible is taken to try and minimize the pain and suffering, and also to add in things that will help speed the recovery in regards to surgery. This isn't that. Your device intentionally causes intense physical pain to your students. Your words, not mine. Our point is there should be no physical pain being intentionally inflicted upon your students for any reason at all. We don't want to hear your whataboutisms. We don't want you to hear, but you have no idea how dangerous these behaviors are, because point blank, honey, yes, we do. We are autistic. You are not. As a matter of fact, we have a better, more clear understanding regards to the behaviors described for those students than you folks ever will. No more whataboutism. Okay? I don't care if it's 55 people. There needs to be 0 people on that device. Period. Extremely simple, one would think, right? Okay, now we are going to reference something else, because once again they're trying to say, well, no, because we don't sell it, so therefore the FDA doesn't have the authority to ban it. That's that hole you all keep digging yourselves into again. We've got one situation here that says the JRC recognizes that around the time of 2011, the FDA reversed its line of thinking, redid their procedures, and said that you need to present your GED devices to be tested, vetted, approved, and licensed properly. And you systematically failed every single time. But that's not what it was before, and we don't understand. The law does not care if you don't understand, JRC. The law is there to be obeyed. You do not get preferential treatment. You don't get a pat on the head. We're not going to give you a lollipop. When that decision was reversed in 2011, your job was to do exactly what you were told to do. Present those devices for proper testing and licensing. You did not do that. And even more amazingly, when you did the appeal for the final rule of 2020, you did not use that argument at all. And that argument would have been a hell of a lot easier to win than the one you ultimately went with. So which one is it? Either the FDA has full authority to protect the public from medical devices that will cause more harm than good, whether they're being mass produced and sold or not, or they don't have that authority at all. But on either side, whichever side is right, you're still on the wrong end of it, JRC. Stop digging. No, you know what? Keep digging. Actually, yeah, keep digging. Because I would love for something to finally stick and bring this nightmare that you call a school to a final end. And get those kids somewhere safe where they can recover from the absolute hell you have forced them to live under for multiple decades. Now, let me show you what I pulled up again, because we have to respond to it again. I asked the AI. The JRC says that because they do not sell their GED device commercially, that the FDA does not have the authority to implement a ban of the GED device. Is that correct? AI says, no, it's not entirely correct that the FDA lacks authority to ban a device like the GED simply because it's not commercially sold. The FDA's authority to ban a device extends beyond the commercial distribution, as it can also be a device based on the risks it presents to individuals, even if used only in specific settings. What does that say, JRC? What does it say? The FDA's number one job is to protect patients. That is number one. Okay? So, whether the device is being used at a centralized location or whether it is commercial being sold through drugstores throughout the world, it doesn't matter. Because the FDA's authority to ban a device can also ban a device based on its risk it presents to the individuals who are forced to wear them. Which is what I've been saying literally over the last 3 to 4 videos. Okay? Pretty simple, isn't it? Alright, we're going to make this one real short because I got to do another one, and then, folks, what can I tell you? The hanger is real. The hanger must be taken care of. So we're going to go ahead and close out on this one for right now. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few we do get tend to get removed from time to time. So if you could, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and as always, folks, please don't forget to get the comments. I definitely do appreciate your time. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a new good one. And keep your eyes out for the new videos coming along with the series on Medicaid, Social Security, Section 8 housing, and Medicaid. We're going to be starting a new one here pretty quick in regards to SNAP benefits as well. Everyone have a great one. Bye-bye now.